is hell to pay, and the cross I bear weighs a ton. Well deserved, what can I say? I'm a son of a bitch for all the things I've done. But every time I try to make peace with my enemies, I lose my patience and I lose my mind. Whoever cuts or hits whoever is in front of me, but why'd it have to be her this time? Oh, no, I let my loved one go, and I can't stop, no, I can't do the pain. Let my true colors show. Black and blue look good on you today. Half for one heart and half for one soul. Don't make me whole.
MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, how are you doing on this fantastic Monday? Oh, yes, you know how it is. It is Monday, September the 26th of 2022, day 269th of the year, and only 96 days left to go. So how was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting? Anything that you want to talk about? Anything that you would like for us to know? If you want us to know, you can tell us at callinradio.com. That's the easiest way to do it. So I hope everything is good where you're located, because, that's always important for us. We are having our conversation first thing in the morning. So with that being said, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place where we do things at.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about some of the things that were going on inside of the world. So I guess we should probably start talking about what was trending from over the weekend.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Saturday was National Ghost Hunting Day. So I guess if you were trying to kick off the horror nights of haunted houses and all that kind of fun stuff, well, I guess Saturday was your day to do so. Also, Tropical Storm Ian was trending on Saturday after meteorologists said that they expected it to hit Florida as a major hurricane. So there you go. That was what was going on. When the people from the Weather Channel start showing up in your state and they say, hey, this is what's going down, that's when you're going to be on the lookout. And they arrived yesterday from what I can see. Anyway, Sunday was National Daughter Day. So that was a big thing that was going around yesterday. And Rihanna landed in Twitter's top 10 trends on Sunday after multiple outlets confirmed that she will be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show there, coming up early next year. So there you go. I would love to tell you who the teams are playing, but, it's impossible to say that right now. No, seriously. I have no crystal ball inside of this joint on where we could tell you all that kind of fun stuff. So let's talk real quick. If you're not familiar with what we do, let me kind of give you the explainer real quick. We talk about safety in the news and safety. We are a radio show that focuses on some streaming stuff and some podcasting, but radio show first. Everything else kind of falls secondary from that. If you want to interact with the show, you go to callinradio.com. Easiest way of doing so. You can take a listen to us on the iHeartRadio app under the live station section under Radio Big, or you can hang out on the Safety FM app, whichever one you would rather do. The choice is yours, of course, in doing so. With that being said, it's kind of a simple process. Once we start bringing in the professional broadcasters, they'll tell us about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news. Then I'll come back in and do a little speaky inking in regards of what is going on inside of the world, and then we go from there. So if you are interested in doing anything with us, well, you already know how to do it, so just move forward in doing that. With that being said, I think it is time to get us into the world of the news. What do you think? Think it's a good idea? Well, I hope you do. That way we can do it together.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. The Biden administration is warning Russia of catastrophic consequences if it were to use nuclear weapons in its ongoing war in Ukraine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told CBS 60 Minutes that Washington has sent private messages to Moscow after Russian President Vladimir Putin hinted last week that nuclear arms could be on the table to defend Russia. Blinken said that kind of loose talk is dangerous and that the consequences would be horrific. Britain's new prime minister is reaffirming her country's special relationship with the U.S.
The U.S. is an incredibly close partner of the U.K., and it's increasingly important.
Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, Prime Minister Liz Truss noted she had a great meeting with President Biden at the UN General Assembly in New York City, adding she's a huge fan of the U.S. A top official at the Federal Reserve is upbeat about the outlook for the nation's economy.
We're still creating lots of jobs on a monthly basis. And so I actually think that there is some ability for the economy to absorb our actions and slow in a relatively orderly way.
Appearing on CBS Face the Nation, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic noted the central bank's rate hikes are slowing demand, which should help bring down prices for consumers. He avoided the word recession by stating that the U.S. is still seeing job growth. Costco is promising to keep its popular hot dog and soda combo at $1.50 despite sky-high inflation. Chief Financial Officer Richard Galante even hinted that the price could remain the same forever. The wholesale retailer notes the combo hasn't changed since the deal was introduced in the mid-1980s. Last month, prices of consumer goods were up more than 8% year over year, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And Rihanna will be headlining the Super Bowl halftime show next year. Super Bowl 56 takes place at the State Farm Stadium on February the 12th, 2023 in Glendale, Arizona. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Right-wing leader Giorgia Meloni is on course to be Italy's first female prime minister after claiming victory in the country's election. 5 people have died after a typhoon in the Philippines that's caused flooding and power cuts. The British pound has hit a record low against the US dollar, and the White House's national security advisor has warned of catastrophic consequences if Russia uses a nuclear weapon in Ukraine.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
Tropical storm Ian is expected to become a hurricane today. Tampa, Florida Mayor Jane Castor says her city is doing what it can to prepare.
It would be devastation without a doubt in certain areas of our city. So again, we can't control Mother Nature, but we are going to be prepared and we're going to inform our community, get them evacuated out of the danger zones if necessary.
Florida has activated more than 2,000 National Guard members as the storm intensifies and nears the state's coast. Forecasters say Ian is in the Caribbean with maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour and could make landfall later this week. With all of Florida under a state of emergency, Governor Ron DeSantis is urging residents to prepare for power outages, fuel disruptions, and evacuations. Ian could also reach major status by Tuesday. The House committee investigating the January the 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol is back with another public hearing this week. Members of the Democrat-led panel haven't announced the topic yet, but confirmed the hearing will take place Wednesday afternoon. No word on whether it will feature any in-person witnesses. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer calling for funding to help in the fight against fentanyl.
They're trying to get children younger and younger to take this horrible, horrible drug. This is nothing short of despicable.
On Sunday, he said he wants $290 million in federal funds to fight rainbow fentanyl, highly addictive fentanyl pills that look like candy. Schumer added it has law enforcement on edge. The funds would be used to ramp up dozens of overdose response strategy teams across the country. A record number of Americans died from drug overdoses in 2021. Fentanyl is said to be 50 times more powerful than heroin. And controversial internet host Alex Jones is headed back to the stand this week as a jury considers damages that he will owe for calling the Sandy Hook massacre a hoax. Jones spent the entire day in Waterbury Superior Court last Thursday being questioned by plaintiff attorney Chris Matty, with multiple angry exchanges taking place. The judge called off court Friday when Jones' attorney decided not to cross-examine him at that time. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
And we're not sure how to do it, you can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, ONE.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. Currently 14 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Monday and about to get into some stuff that we should probably start talking about because it's going to be important. So take a listen to this. Germany branch of the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals organization says that eating meat isn't just mean to animals, it's also an expression of toxic masculinity in detrimental times on the planet. They are calling on women to withhold sex from men from meat-eating men until they change their ways, saying that it's a stunt of news release that a 41% tax on meat purchase would also be appropriate because one study shows that meat-eating men cause 41% of greenhouse emissions, 41% more of greenhouse emissions than women do. So what do you think? I don't know. I mean, how do you think about it? Do you think that there should be some sex withholding if you do eat meat and potentially up to a 41% tax? I mean, I'm just asking the question because it does get pretty interesting in regards of, going through the whole thing and talking about it. That is for sure. So some things to think about as we are talking and moving and grooving. So whatever it is, c'est la vie. Let's continue talking. A majority of Americans have recently gone a week without paying for purchases with paper cash and coins, and a new Ramazan study shows. The survey says that 51% of respondents rely on plastic for all purchases, but that's not necessarily an abnormal thing. Similar surveys show that 48% said that as much back in 2018. So hold on, you pay with plastic, I pay with metal. What the hell? I mean, it's kind of confusing. Anyway, it's worth noting while 2018, 43% said that they had never gone a week without spending cash. Now it's only 38% that say the same. So what do? Are you a cash-carrying member of society, or do you use everything on cards, or do you do the tap-tap? When I say tap-tap, of course, using your phone. Maybe some people will say that that's metal. Some people will say that it's glass. Depends on how you want to take a look at it. So there you go. Anyways, after encouraging field test results on the Artemis 1 rocket, NASA now has a potential natural disaster scrubbing the launch window. So there you go. The tentative September 27th launch window has been closed as Tropical Storm Ian threatens Florida and will likely become a powerful hurricane. Rolling the rocket back from the launch pad is essentially ensures that missing the October the 2nd backup launch date. The new launch window has not been yet. I'll tell you this. I know that there's been a lot of stuff that have been talking about in regards of this particular launch. And I keep on wondering, when we look back in history, will this be a reference to when the launch didn't occur, or will it be a reference that it happened? I'm just wondering. Because there's been a lot of thought process related to this launch that has not occurred over the last few days, last few weeks at this point. So something to think about. Anyways, finally, some common ground in North Korea's Kim Jong Jr. Has made listening to K-pop an offense worthy of up to 15 years of hard labor. Yeah, worth noting, K-pop includes a variety of genres, popular music produced by South Korean artists. The edict from the North includes possession of just about any form of entertainment made in South Korea, but K-pop especially draws as Junior ire. The New York Times reports that Junior has called the recent wave of feminine-looking dandy boys frolicking on stage as a vicious cancer, and that the attire, hairstyle, speeches, behaviors are corrupting the attitudes of young North Koreans, in particular towards the regime. And it gets worse. If you're caught bringing in the material, you could face a death penalty. Can you imagine that? Death penalty for K-pop? That's a lot of stuff to think about.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So take a listen to this. Rising inflation rates at the grocery stores have been good for business at Costco. So good that the fact of bulk sale retailer is holding off on increasing their annual membership. So renewal rates hit a record in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year at 92.6%. The store CFO said that Thursday's earning call, given the headline of the inflation concerns about the recession, we feel quite comfortable driving sales and earning the way that we are right now, and we still have that arrow in our quiver as we move forward. So outside that they're not raising the prices of their hot dog combo thing, you also now hear that they are also not raising the price of their memberships. Now, listen, I don't know if you're a Costco membership kind of person. If you are, do you go frequently, and is it worth the cost? Just asking the question because always intrigued on knowing those kind of things. Anyways, with that being said, I think it is time talking about finances that we bring in some John Small and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the market.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, September 26th, 2022. The equity market sold off hard last week on mounting fear of the FOMC. Not only did the Fed raise rates by the expected 75 basis points, but it also indicated a minimum of an additional 160 basis points were coming. The news sent the yield on the 10-year Treasury through the roof, and the S&P 500 desperately seeking support. The index shed more than 5% for the week, putting it deeper into the bear market territory, and on the verge of another 20% decline. The next hurdle for the market will come Friday with the PCE price index, which is expected to moderate on a month-to-month basis, but still come in hot versus last year. The risk is that consumer-level inflation will come in hotter than expected, or worse, accelerate again, and raise the stakes in regard to the Fed, interest rate hikes, and the odds of a recession. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thanks, John Small, for that information right there as we are going through all the stuff that's going on. So let's take a look real quick, a little bit more of a breakdown. The Dow lost about 486 points on Friday to close at 29,590. The S&P lost about 64 points to close at 3,693. The NASDAQ lost about 198 points to close at 10,867. West Texas Intermediate nosedive on Friday, trading at $78 a barrel. Brent crude closed at $85.54. The quick decrease in oil prices signals fear of major global recession. The national average price of a gallon of gas has ticked back up again to about $3.71. Bitcoin fell flat over the weekend and was trading about $19,000 even. And there was 2,700 flight delays within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, and 202 such cancellations. So there you go. That's some information on what's going on. Also, what else was happening? Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the box office because some people care about that stuff. So let's talk about it right now. Going from 10 to 1, 1 to 10, at the number 10 spot was Minions: The Rise of Gru with $1 million. And number 9 was Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick at $1.5 million. At number 8 was DC Leagues of Super Pets with $1.7 million. At number 7 was Bullet Train with $1.8 million. See How They Run coming in at number 6 at $1.9 million. At number 5 was Pearl with $1.91 million. At number 4 was Barbarian with $4.8 million. At number 3 was Avatar with $18 million. This is the re-release just in case. At number 2 was The Woman King with $11.1 million. And at the number 1 spot was Don't Worry, Darling with $19.2 million. So there you go. I don't know. Every time I hear that word darling, I think of that Misfits song, Die, 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 My Darling. I don't know why it defaults to that. It just does. Just does for some reason. Anyways, what else is going on inside of there? We still got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's talk about this one because this one was making the circles. Take a listen to this real quick. Detroit radio news anchor killed. Yes, Chesterfield police say that an overnight WWJ news anchor, Jim Matthews, has been killed by a 54-year-old friend, and his 2 children were injured by the attack on Friday. Public Safety Director Brian Bassett says that his son was badly hurt.
We also found a 10-year-old white male bound and suffering from blunt force trauma.
Police found the suspect had tried to kill himself with an overdose after attacking Matthews, his kids, and their mother. His 10-year-old son is in critical condition at the hospital, and his 5-year-old daughter was hurt along with a 35-year-old mom. Matthews was found dead inside of the home. A GoFundMe has raised over $9,000 for the children. John Nicolai, the brother of the WWJ, Jim Matthews, who was killed on Friday. Take a listen.
Pray for his children. His children are the ones that need the prayers. and support.
And of course, as we speak, no motive has been given yet on what had occurred during the time. It's interesting to take a listen to that. So I just don't know what the hell was going on. Anyways, let's continue talking in some other news of some things that are happening real quick. So later today, NASA will throw a dart at an asteroid in a mission that could one day save mankind. Rory O'Neill has more info.
DART is NASA's attempt to steer a small asteroid, now 7 million miles from Earth, by slamming a satellite into it. Planetary Defense Officer Lindley Johnson says they've found 30,000 space rocks nearby.
We have the technology now to do this and find these objects years, decades, even a century before they pose an impact threat to the Earth.
The plan is to prevent another asteroid strike like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. You can watch DART impact Dimorphos in real time at nasa.gov/live. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Oh, let's be realistic. How many of you out there are going to go out there and try to watch that? Let's be real. Come on. Let's not play it. Let's not play it as something else, because, you know, it's going to be one of those interesting ones. Anyways, the U.S. is warning Russia about the catastrophic consequences if it uses nuclear weapons against Ukraine. Take a listen to what Mark Mayfield has to say.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken told CBS 60 Minutes that Washington has sent private messages to Moscow after Russian President Vladimir Putin hinted last week that nuclear arms could be on the table to defend Russia. Blinken said that kind of loose talk is dangerous and that the consequences would be horrific. Russian military doctrine allows the use of tactical nuclear weapons to force an enemy to retreat. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark, for that information right there of what is going on. Anyways, former First Lady Michelle Obama is one of the newest members of the National Women Hall of Fame. She was inducted during a ceremony over the weekend in Geneva, New York.
I am so humbled to join the ranks of such extraordinary women. Giants like Harriet Tubman, Aretha Franklin, Amelia Earhart.
Other inductees included artists such as Judy Chicago and soccer star Mia Hamm. So there you go, some information for you on what was going on there. Take a listen to this. The amount of water that is feeding what is called the upper and lower Colorado Basin is dropping to crisis level. Pat Wells, General Manager of Resources Infrastructure, is planning in Colorado Springs, addresses whether people are in the fight to protect the dwindling Colorado River water supply.
Water evokes a lot of positive emotions in people, and that's what we were really trying to do, is tap in to the emotions around water, about the value it provides to our local economies, to our quality of life.
7 states are heavily impacted as the Colorado River is a lifeline for about 40 million people and the $15 billion a year agriculture industry that it depends on it. 70% of the water used in Colorado Springs utility comes from Colorado River, but the flow of the river have declined an estimated 20% since 2000. It's a problem that Colorado Springs Utility saw coming, implementing a long-term strategy after signing a 50-year plan in 2017. CSU says that the per capita water usage since 2000 has actually been reduced by 41%, but it's up to the entire region to emphasize conservation that will help the effort. So what do you think about that? Some stuff going on right there that makes you kind of wonder a lot of stuff that is happening inside of this world. Anyways, where do we want to go here? Do we want to talk a little bit more about what's going on with the hurricane? I got a lot of hurricane stuff. I really do. So Tropical Storm Ian is expected to become the hurricane today. Mayor Jane Castor says that her city is doing what it can to get prepared.
It would be devastation without a doubt in certain areas of our city. So again, we can't control Mother Nature, but we are going to be prepared, and we're going to inform our community, get them evacuated out of the danger zones if necessary.
Florida has activated more than 2,000 National Guard members as the storm intensifies and nears to the state's coast. Forecaster says that Ian is in the Caribbean Sea with a maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour and could make landfall later this week. With all of Florida under the state of emergency, Governor Ron DeSantis is urging residents to prepare for power outages, fuel disruption, and evacuation. Ian is also turns into a major status by Tuesday. Tampa Mayor Jane Kastner says the city is getting prepared.
We're doing everything that we can to be prepared ahead of time, to control what we can control. But I've been here during Hurricane Charlie. It was supposed to be a devastating direct hit to Tampa, and at the last minute it took a dogleg into South Florida, so you never know.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about hurricanes, is that you never know where the hell they're going to end up going. Being able to live in an island for a long period of time and then living here in Florida for a long period of time, you never know where the hell it's going to go. That's the way that it seems to be, and that's what we're going to do. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk a little bit more. More than 1,900 adults and children took part of Sunday's run and walk for Bronson's Children's Hospital in Kalamazoo. Kylie Moon was among those who came out in the rain to raise $215,000 for the hospital.
It was important to bring awareness and donate to the hospital because they helped our little boy, and we want to make sure that they can help other families in the future.
The fundraising goal was $175,000. The money raised will go to providing medical equipment for kids, murals, play spaces, and parent liaison with the neonatal intensive care unit. So there you go. It's good to hear some people going out there for a great cause of what is going on because, hey, funding needs to happen. That's the way that it actually goes as we are talking. Let's do this one before we get into the main story. 2 U.S. military veterans captured Russian forces in Ukraine are back and home in Alabama. The pair that were released as part of the prisoner exchange involving Saudi Arabia and surprise family members welcomed the news.
I personally did not expect it to happen for a couple of years. So this caught us completely off guard, and apparently the rest of the world.
Diana Shaw is the aunt of Alex Drux, one of the two men that were greeted by their friends and families in Birmingham Airport on Saturday. Let's see. Both of them went missing in June during a heavy fighting in northeastern Ukraine. 5 British nationals and 3 others were also freed as a surprise prisoner swap. So there you go. Some interesting things going on there. Anyways, it is currently 32 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it might be time to do that thing that we do normally at this time of the show, where we can actually get into the move and grooves of stuff.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, I have to tell you that depending on where you're located, there might be some amendments that protect you in regard to the things that you say. But I have to say that I am so glad that we are able to talk the truth and we're able to speak the truth. And granted, speaking the truth might appear a little bit dangerous from time to time, and there could be a risk associated to it, but it also wouldn't be workplace better if you tried to be a little bit more honest with people, opposed to of just saying other stuff that's not true. The act of having all people telling the truth is, extraordinary. I mean, I know some people say that you need to have a little white lie here and there for the world to continue on. But it is not so easy not to tell the truth to the people who you work with. I mean, I don't know why people seem to have a struggle from time to time on telling the truth when it comes to people that you work with or family members. But people that are outsiders is okay. But telling the truth makes the difficult conversation, and we generally try to shy away from difficult conversations with coworkers, peers, and so on. But think about it. Imagine if you change everything where you're being honest. In many cases, not telling the truth to a person that you work with is, just delays the inevitable. I mean, think about it for a moment. Think about how things change because you're not super honest with the people that you work with. That be it your boss, that be it your coworker, that be it your supervisor. I mean, just think that at some point, we're eventually going to have an honest conversation with these people. I mean, constraint occurs when you are not honest by many things. Sometimes it seems a little bit risky, to be honest, and I get it, but sometimes it'd be, professional suicide, to be honest, according to some. I mean, think about it for a moment. But sadly, some have allowed themselves to believe that they're not being honest is being cunning and smart. But is that really the case? How often do you think about this where you go, imagine if we were just having those open and honest conversations? And I know that you can tie this into the safety world. You can tie this into some other stuff. But wouldn't it be nice if we could simply be true to who we are and what we believe in? Anywhere, even with the people at work. And I mean, I'm not talking about being honest because you want to be rude and disrespectful, because that's not the case. That's not what we're saying here. It does mean to bring a true authenticity with the people who are around you. I mean, think about it. Think about how different that sequence of things would be. If you always tell the truth, you will never have to remember the lies that you told which people. Think about it. Think about it for a moment. A work environment, relationships with others, where you are open and honest. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's times that I am extremely honest with people and they think that it's sarcasm, and it's not really at all. It's me being honest and truthful. And it's not about being rude. It's about saying things on how you feel about them. And I know that some people go, there's no way that I could live that lifestyle. But imagine that for a moment today. Imagine if you changed to being 60% honest and then essentially have a plan for 70 and 80 and 90 and then 100. Could you be honest if somebody said, what are your thoughts about this? Why can't you be honest? They're your thoughts. Nobody can tell you that you're wrong for your thoughts. If somebody asks your opinion for something, that your opinion can't be wrong because it's your opinion. Just how it goes. But there seems to be this difficulty with honesty. It's like, why should I risk being honest? Why would you not want to be honest? That's the question that I ask all the time. I think at the end of the day, when you really give it some thought, honesty is truly the best policy.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by
This
AARP.
portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Prepare yourself. We are now being distributed on iHeartRadio. Listen on iHeartRadio app. Radio Big.
Okay, let's go. Pop quiz hotshot. During a heat wave, what's more important, air conditioning or air guitar? Is it air conditioning? Air guitar. The answer is always air guitar.
Walking in my shoes, harder work and harder play. And I was just starting to like you. But I've been known to lose my temper when I'm tempted to. But otherwise, I'm a pretty nice guy. And if you knew all the places that they send me to, you would know to avoid my kind. I let my loved one go. I can't stop, no, I can't do it. Let my true colors show. Black and blue look good on you today. Half of one heart and half of one soul. Half of one.
Okay, you are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. It is currently 44 minutes past the top of the hour. Little song you're taking a listen to right here. This is Make Me Whole by Joe Marson. Yes, that's Joe Marson. Songs readily available on Spotify and iTunes. Thanks to Joe for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, because we talk about it. There you go. Let's get back into some of the mix of stuff that is going on inside of this lovely world of ours, because that's what we're here for. We get to talk about it. We get to hang out. We get to do all the fun stuff that is going on and around and so on. Anyways, this is going to probably be the most important thing that I will tell you in my lifetime. So make sure that you're paying close attention for us to talk about it real quick. And what am I going to tell you? Well, I'm going to tell you about my friends at the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline can help prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones, and the best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is text the word TALK to 988, call 988, or you can go to 988lifeline.org. I know an array of different things that you can do to get everything moving and grooving your general direction with this information. Listen, it is all important. At no point do I ever think that this conversation should not be had on a daily basis, if not even almost an hourly basis, in regards to talking about what's going on. So to find out more info, 988lifeline.org. All kinds of information on the website, if that's where you want to go. So there you go. That's some information on what's going on right there. Let's continue talking a little bit about some things that are going on inside of the world of the news so we can get a little bit caught up about what is going on inside of the world here, because that's important as we are hanging out on this Monday. Anyways, enlighten you with lightning. Yeah, it turns out that when Granny told you as a kid that you shouldn't shower or bathe during a thunderstorm, well, she was right. Well, where's there's thunder, there's lightning, and lightning can kill or maim you in just the least ways that you can expect. According to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, the agency is cautioning people that that since lightning can travel through plumbing, it is best to avoid water during a thunderstorm, including showering, bathing, washing dishes, and washing hands. It notes that the risk of lightning traveling through the plumbing is probably less with plastic pipes with metal than what it is with metal pipes. But it's best to avoid contact with plumbing and running water during lightning storms to reduce the risk of being struck. The CDC says that not only is that a danger, that's not the only danger there, is probably what they were trying to say. You should stay off of your porches and balconies, and don't go near a window or doors, and don't lie down on concrete floors or lean against concrete walls. Furthermore, don't use anything connected to an electrical outlet, such as computers or other electronic equipment. The CDC says that you should stay off corded phones, but cell phones and cordless phones are safe, and if they are not connected to an outlet through a charger. So hold on. If I can't be next to a window and don't be on concrete walls or concrete floors, and I can't take a shower, where the hell am I supposed to hang out? I mean, I'm just trying to figure this out. So thank goodness, how else would I be able to post that during a storm? I mean, because I have to say that I've been that I am involved in a storm. And some of the safest places are to be a church. I'm pretty sure I'd be struck by lightning if I ever went there. I mean, I don't know. There are just a lot of things to think about, regardless on how you tie it all together. It's just one of those weird things.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck. This rock block is for you.
Yeah, there you go. Let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some medication optimization. Have you ever been taking your pills wrong? Well, researchers at Johns Hopkins University say that you should consider your posture when taking medication. They found that whether you are standing up straight or leaning as well on your side, well, it can affect how fast the content of the pills are absorbed in your body. The bottom line is that if you're leaning on your right side after swallowing, the pill could speed the absorption by 13 minutes, compared that if you're standing upright. Leaning left, well, it's a bad idea. That could slow down the absorption by more than 1 hour. They say that standing or sitting up straight is still an excellent way of taking a pill. If you're lying down afterwards, turning to your right side could significantly speed up the rate of the drug during the absorption by your body. A person's posture affects the rate of the dissolution of the pills for two reasons: the shape of the stomach and gravity. So why don't they tell you this stuff at a hospital? Like, have you ever been at the hospital to give you pills and you just lay down? I mean, I'm just asking. And if sleeping pills you're taking, then I would suggest very strongly that you lie down, because I think it would be dangerous to do that standing up or leaning towards your right. And once again, the shape of your stomach causes me problems. So there you go. Yeah, I did say that. I mean, if you figured what I just said, you got it. I'm sure you got it. Anyways, with that being said, let's bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Mark. George Burns said, "Happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family in another city." I love that. I can relate a little. We live a few hours from most of our family. We see one another on special occasions, and I absolutely love that. Now, I have a friend who lives really close to his dad. I think it's pretty cool, but my friend says he needs a little break once in a while. His dad still scolds him on a regular basis for things that most adults don't get scolded for. I'll bet he's going to miss that someday. My dad passed away in 1995. I'd give about anything for another day, even if it meant him scolding me a little. In all reality, I probably have it coming. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlysaMorgan.com. Ability to control your stress in real time is extremely powerful. It turns out you can do this using physiology and neuroscience. Your breathing can directly impact your heart rate and your stress level. When you inhale, your diaphragm moves down and your heart gets a little bigger. As a consequence, the brain receives a signal to speed up your heart rate. Therefore, inhaling increases your heart rate. The opposite is also true. As you exhale, your diaphragm moves up, the heart gets a bit smaller, and the brain gets a signal to slow down the heart rate. So inhaling speeds your heart rate up, exhaling slows it down. And if you're looking to become more alert, it is recommended to take vigorous, more intense inhales. If you're looking to calm down, take bigger exhales or make them more vigorous. That is something you can do in real time to impact your physiology. For more, check out AlysaMorgan.com.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 52 minutes past the top of the hour means that we have a very short time left. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to RadioBig.fm to do what we do on our music side of the house. So if you want to come hang out and take a listen, you're more than welcome on doing so. Take a listen to this. The Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney isn't being shy about her opposition of former President Trump.
I'm going to make sure Donald Trump, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's not the nominee. And if he is the nominee, I won't be a Republican.
The vice chair of the January 6th committee made the comments on Saturday at an event in Texas. Cheney is a second-generation Republican leader after her father, Dick Cheney, served as vice president under George W. Bush. So there you go, some stuff right there if you want to take a listen to that. What else do we have going on real quick? Let's take a listen to this. A city council member is sharing her fears about the low morale among the Aurora police officers with the rise in crime. Danielle Jerensky says that a recent rise of crime while in Aurora Police Department is short-staffed is concerning.
We don't have enough police officers, and the criminals know that. We're down about 80 officers right now.
Danielle recently posted a tweet with an email that said to be sent to officers at Aurora PD. It listed the incidents in the span of one day: a homicide, domestic violence shooting, stabbing, officers involved in shooting, in a deadly car crash involving a pedestrian. She says that the officials are doing everything they can to get more police hired while also working to change the climate. Aurora City Council members Danielle worries about Aurora Police Department as being pushed to its limits right now.
You start to worry about mental health. You start to worry about exhaustion.
So a lot of stuff going on right there as we are talking about this. Let's take a look around real quick. No winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $325 million jackpot or $172.4 million cash payout. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing either. Tonight's drawing will be for $285 million jackpot or $151.2 million cash payout. So there you go. Some things to think about. If you are interested in playing the game, you have the opportunity in doing so. What else is going on? Let's take a look at some things that happened back on this date. Let's see. Back in 1981, Nolan Ryan throws his 5th no-hitter, making a new National League record. He finished his career with 7 and still holds the record in Major League Baseball. Ryan also finished his career with 5,714 strikeouts, another Major League Baseball record, and 800 ahead of Randy Johnson, who holds the number 2 spot. So there you go. Sounds like it's going to be a long time before that one is broken. Anyways, Zoe Perry turns 38 today. Nev Schulman, 38. Manny Montana, 39. Damian Priest, 40. Serena Williams, 41. Asuka, 41. Christina Milian, 41. Beto O'Rourke turns 50. Linda Hamilton turns 66. And Carlene Carter turns 67. That's what's going on with the birthdays for today. If you are looking at some days of the year to celebrate, I have some of those as well for you. It's National Family Day, National Johnny Appleseed Day, Human Resource Professional Day, Shamu the Whale Day, National Chimichanga Day, National Dumpling Day, and Lumberjack Day. What exactly do you do during Lumberjack Day? I'm kind of curious about that one. Makes me kind of question some things about what exactly are you doing on Lumberjack Day. No, seriously. It's not a joke. So anyways, let's talk about Did You Know? Well, it's a known fact that some kids aren't big fans of eating greens. A new study shows that dietary preferences could develop before they're born. Fetuses create more of a laughter phase in the womb when they are exposed to flavors like carrots consumed by their mothers, and create a cry phase in responses to kale, according to a study published by the Journal of Psychology Science. While some studies suggest that babies can taste and smell in the womb, this is the first research showing direct evidence of fetal reaction to flavors in the womb. So there you go. I have a lot of questions about that study, but probably, not good for a Monday to be asking those questions. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about a random joke for today if you need one. All I have is me, myself, and I, and we're getting really tired of each other. If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What embarrassing trend did you follow when you were younger? Or what horrible fashion trend were you a victim of, is maybe the other question to ask. If you need something for the water cooler, try this. If this is an average day, you'll do this more than 20 times. What is it? Complain. Seriously, that's what it is. It's complain. That's what you'll do more than 20 times in one day. Isn't that a great thing to know? What are you going to do today? I'm going to complain 20 times if it's an average day. If it's more than average, well, then I'll complain more. Something to think about. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show on Radio Big and on Safety FM. So thanks for coming in, hanging out, and doing the things that you do. If you want to, come and hang out with me on RadioBig.fm, as we will be doing our thing over there. If not, you can keep it locked here on Safety FM and take a listen to the next show that's about to come on with what is going on inside of the world of safety. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we could not do what we do around here. That is for sure. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. People might not get all they work for in this world, but they can certainly work for all they get. That's something to think about. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Don't make me whole. I've got this debt to pay. You wouldn't last one day walking in my shoes. Harder work and harder play. And I was just starting to like you. But I've been known to lose my temper when I'm tempted to. But otherwise, I'm a